Hello fellow web makers and welcome to tonight's live map making session. I hope you can hear me and the sound is okay. My system seems to indicate it is, but let me know if anything is amiss. My voice may be a bit hoarse still. I'm just past a cold that I brought back from my vacation, so excuse me if it's perhaps my voice gets a bit strained as we go along tonight, but it should be okay. Hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed Remy's last two mapping sessions. Thank you, Remy, for for doing those 2 weeks while I was away. And I hope I can jump back in with a nice session and some more mapping work tonight. As always, if you have any questions during the session, just post them in the comments. Sue is watching that, and either she or Remy will answer right away, or if it's something I can show, will forward the question to me, and I can see what I can do on screen to answer your questions. So, what do I want to do tonight? Well, you saw the title. I want to look at some heraldry in Campaign Cartographer. It's one of those topics that's not always at the top of everyone's wish list, but requests for it come along quite regularly, and quite a few people like to make heraldic devices for the maps, coats of arms. And we do have a few annual issues that cover this topic, specifically the one I'm looking at from 2008 from the volume 2 of the Cartographer's annual. And tonight I want to show you how to use the assets from that annual, how to create new stuff yourself, and then also how to convert the designs you create into a symbol catalog and use them in an overland map to show duchies and countries and mark them with their heraldry. Alright, so let's get to it. I've already got the template for that open, but let's start off with the whole procedure. So let's click a new map, not save my changes here, and then for the map type choose Other. That's where our heraldry templates are located in, and here I'm gonna pick a predefined template, because we can also start with a decide settings myself. There's a template for that in the wizard, but since you can't make many changes in there anyway, we'll just as well can start with a predefined template. Then you can see these are also located in the other folder, templates other, if the new map wizard doesn't bring this up right away. Navigate to the other folder there, and then we've got some heraldry templates here. One for if you just want to create one single coat of arms, and a couple for multiple ones, and we'll use one of those, the 8 shields one, for our session tonight. So just click that and Campaign Cartographer brings up the empty template. So let's save this, because from a predefined template you don't get to automatically save the map in a location of your choice. So if I do that, you can see that by the map title here on top of the file name is map in brackets, and that means it's just a temporary file that's not saved yet. So we're going to do save as and save this in our setting, in our video folder here. Okay, so I want to create perhaps 4 or 5 different designs, and let's start with some very simple ones to get the basics down. It's really very, very simple, because all the parts are created for you already. You start up with a background color for the coat of arms. And caveat, I should say, I have no real knowledge of the heraldry as a science. That's a very complicated subject with lots of specific names and titles for things, and I don't claim to know anything about that, and I'm probably misusing terms here all the time. So please apologize. Please accept my apology for that. You'll have to do with what I can say here. So the background. We've got different colors here, basic colors. You'll already see that these symbols have some French sounding or similar names for the colors. That's the color names from the heraldry background, but I'm referring to as red and blue and not as azure and Jules here. So we'll stick with our English color names. Let's say I want to create a white or silver shield. You see the snap is enabled, so I can just click in the center of the shield here, and then I've got the white background for the symbol. You'll see from the red indicator up here on the left that the symbols automatically split into different sheets. That's to make the ordering correct automatically. You don't have to worry about that for now. We'll just use the symbols as they are. So I've got the background for the shield. Now I want to have a pattern on it. So for that I'm going to click the Symbol Catalog Settings button, and that brings up some different catalogs here I can choose from. And what I'm looking for, the patterns, is what we call designs here. So I click this, and then let's change the color here. Let's go for red. And see, all the symbols are varicolour symbols. And here you've got the different designs or patterns that you can just place on the shield. So let's go for a checkerboard one. Again, click the center of the shield, and we've got our first shield design ready to go. Very simple. But that's just the first one, so we also might want something with a little more complicated imagery in the center. So let's go for the next one. I'm going to click the Symbol Catalog Settings again and go back to the shields. That's the basic backgrounds. So let's choose a blue background. And then go back to designs again, and we wanna. Oh, let's just go with a simple imagery in this. So we call those things like you see in coats of arms, like lions and dragons and stuff. Those are charges. And here we've got a selection of different symbols that we can use in our design. Again, many of them are varicolour, so I'm going to go for white, and here I'll just go with the C line and the symbol, something impressive. Again, they're already scaled correctly. Just place it down, and here I've got my first coat of arms with the charge in the center. Again, very simple. Again, I just wanted to create a few different ones, so I'm going to get a little more complicated now. For the next one, I'm going to combine a pattern and a charge. So I'm going to go back to the shields. I got the first request. Again, Remy wants a cat on the shield. I can give you a big cat in a second, or even perhaps a few. So let's go for gold or yellow shield. See, in Heraldic, so white and yellow are the metallic colors. White is silver and yellow is gold. And normally you always place a color, that means red, blue, and so on on metal or vice versa, and not metal on metal or color on color. But this is already getting a bit specific, and just some little bit of tidbits I've read about heraldry, and we're not bothered too much about this. So I'm going to place down a gold shield, then go to my designs. This time I want to go for green and do perhaps a halved shield. Do I have something? Oh, a mantle. Well, this is just the lower corner here. What else do we have here? We've got a nice half of green. There we go. And now I want to add some charges to this. Let's have a look. Oh, well, actually, if I want to put in a nice cat in there, I might want to split the symbol in a different way. So instead of the vertical split, let's do a horizontal split. And now go into our charges. You'll see we've got nice big cats here. So let's grab one of those, but we could just put the green on the yellow, but perhaps we'll want to get a little bit more colorful, so let's go for red again and grab one of the lines. See, little tidbits you can learn from the symbols. Even the line Gardon or Gardent, or however you pronounce it, is the one that's looking at you in the and the one Passant or Passant is the one that looks to the left or straight ahead from him, from his perspective. Let's take the line Gardon, and this we do need to scale down a bit, so I hold down Control and move the mouse down until I've got a size that I think works well. These symbols are quite complicated shapes, so that's why it takes a moment for this cursor to redraw. Still a little bit smaller. And there's our red cat on the top half of the shield. Let's go for another design at the bottom. So let's see what else we've got. We also got some shapes like different crosses, some more complicated shapes that are not necessarily varicolor. So let's go for one of the, well, some of the crosses. Again, make it a bit smaller. Perhaps we want to place two. And there we've got a little more complex design on our shield. Okay, so let's do one more, and then I'll take a look at creating one or two charges myself to show you how that can work. So let's go to our shields again. Grab a black one. Again, do you see I scale the symbols? Now our shield is not the correct size. And to get it back to the default size, just right click and then click the set normal button, more, and then the size is the correct one again. Okay, let's have a look at the designs again. Nice stripe across this, and then we can go to the charges again, do a line set up here in the left corner, and then go choose red. Look here, we also do have some cadency symbols. This is normally modifiers to other stuff, so we can take a Cadency symbol, make it a bit larger, and place this on the white band across our shield. That looks pretty nice. So we've got 4 impressive shields already, but now we want something, perhaps some kind of elaborate star that we don't have. We do have a few stars in our charges, but perhaps not the stuff we really want. You see, we've got the crosses here, and well, not real nice, complicates or impressive star. So let's create a star here for our heraldry. For that, I'm going to zoom into one of our empty boxes. We can make use of the boxes here just to create the designs just within this drawing. Makes it quick and easy. No need to open another drawing and design some symbols in there. So we'll just go ahead and pick a shield color again. We also will see that we do have vari-color versions. So if you want to colors that are not typically used in shields or for your fantasy lands, you can of course do that. You can also define. Let's take one different blue here. Set size back to normal. And there's our blue, sky blue background. And now I'm gonna load the charges catalog. And at the top you can see 2. Okay. Yes, want me on the shield. There you go. Live video heraldry. Here we go. Good. So we do have drawing tools up here in the symbol catalog to draw your own designs, specifically set up to create charges on the correct shield layers and so on. So let's have a look and create a star. For that, I'm going to start with white and just draw one piece of the first. I can see the problem is a little bit that the lines are not very well visible on the blue background, but shouldn't be a problem. I'm gonna just start off with a very simple triangle. Let's have a look. I do need it to be symmetric. There we are. This is going to be just one point of our star, and I'm going to use the cat functions to create a symmetric star from this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use right-click the copy command, do a circular array. That means I have copies in a circular arrangement. Select our star point, press D for do it. Number of spokes, I have 4 spokes on my star. I do want to have a few more spokes, but in a different size. So I'm gonna just do 4 for now. Rings is if I want to have multiple rings of the copy emanating from the center. I don't want that, so I'm just going to stick with 1 number of rings. And our array center is going to be here in the middle of the shield. Same point copy as the copy origin, and then I'm going to right click to accept the default 90 degrees between the copies. That way I go around the circle once. And there's our basic star. A bit too large for our design, so I'm just going to grab it, center here, and reduce the size and place this in the center of our shield. It's looking nice, but perhaps still a bit too simple. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply do a copy of this. pick the center as the copy origin, rotate it by 90 degrees, and make it a bit smaller. And there's a nice 8-pointed star for our coat of arms. What I also want to do is I want to outline this, so let's set off a little bit more from the color. That's basically a choice you can make for yourself whether you want that or not. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna follow the outlines here. The problem now is that it is not one entity but multiple ones, and I will just use the endpoint modifier. This will end up somewhere here in the middle. But what I can do, I can use the how is it called, the intersection modifier. So I want the intersection between this line and this line. So I'm going to press F6. That's the shortcut for the intersection modifier. This line and this line. And there I've got the intersection of those two. I'm going to continue doing that with the other points. Again, F6, this and this. Endpoint to get this end of the star. Again, intersection, this and this. And right click to finish. So there's one. And again, I'm gonna expand this drawing tool group to get the outline that is not closed, because I now want to outline just the other points of the star. And again, I'm gonna use, okay, that's okay. Just to explain, I just tried to do the same again between this and this entities, the intersection, but the problem is that there's already two entities here, the black one and the white one, and when I click on that, it tries to find the intersection between those two entities and goes off to the start of the ones, so I can't grab this like this. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do this for now. As you can see, that's why I was using the intersection before, because now the black outlines are extending beyond the intersections of the star. Doesn't look bad, but it isn't quite what I wanted. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide everything but the outline layer. And now I'm gonna use the trim command. And I'm simply gonna trim these pieces to the outline of the larger star, or the largest part of the star. Now I'm going to show these again. And that's how I wanted my star to look. Almost. I might want to add perhaps a little circle and a point here in the center. For that, I'm just first going to draw a section of the line so I get the same length, same width and color and stuff, and then use the extract properties on this one. And then I'm going to delete this again. And then I'm going to draw a circle. A bit too large. Use the endpoint modifier here. That looks good. And then I'm going to use a zero width to just put a dot in the center. See, the snap points are make it a bit too large for what I want, so I just turn off snap for a second, draw the point, and then turn off snap again. And there's my own design here. What I can also now do, if I want to, I can turn this into a symbol and use this again on and different heraldry devices, save it for my own use. But that's not what I want to do here at the moment. Instead, what I want to do, I want to turn the whole thing into symbol catalog to use in my own maps. Say I've designed these symbols for countries that I have for my own game world or novel I'm writing. So these will be the coats of arms of my noble houses or countries in that setting. I don't want to reuse them all the time to depict my regions of interest, home countries, and stuff on the maps I create. So, of course, it would be handy to have my own symbol catalog for my own coats of arms ready to use in any map. For that, we'll just turn these into symbols. So first, let's take a quick look here at our entities. See, we've got them on different sheets, background, and they are all symbol references. So what we need to do, we need to explode them first into their parts so we can turn them into new symbol references. Because having symbol references within new symbols within new symbol references is just a recipe for disaster. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use explode on all of our symbols. Just want to make sure not this color here. I didn't want to grab the backgrounds. Press D for do it. And we've already made a mess here. So not everything is actually a symbol. Instead got turned into their own lines. So what we're going to do is we need to symbols explode the symbol, only the symbols. So what we're going to do is use explode and use the entity type and make sure we only grab the symbol references, not everything else. Okay, I should do it. And no, that does not work either. Why didn't that work? Let's undo this first. Let's have a look. Info list. This is a symbol reference. Then designs. And this works fine if I just use it on the symbol itself. Yeah, you can see it's now been turned into just a multipoly. So I'm a bit confused why this would not work the same way when I selected multiple ones. Well, that's something I will need to check in time. So what I'm going to do for now is just going to go through these and oops, that's not why. Okay, let's have a look. So I've done these manually one by one. Let's have a look what I still got as symbol references in my map. Info list by entity type. Again, my symbol reference. Yeah, it's just these shields now. Let's go through the sheets one by one and just explode these. Let's try again. Let's see what happens if I select all 5 of them. Press D for do it. No, they're fine now. Not symbols anymore. No. Look at the designs. Info list by entity type. symbol reference. Oh, okay, if I got the crosses here, need to explode those. Next sheet, the outlines. Let's have a look. These are probably still symbols. Yeah, it's still a symbol reference. So I'm going to explode these as well. I know these outlines of the star are not symbols because I just drew them myself. Next sheet. Well, that's fine. I have to check into that, why it didn't explode them as planned when I selected all of the symbols at once. Okay, so let's have a quick look whether we got any symbol references left in our map. No, nothing selected, 0 entities picked, no more symbol references. That means we can go on and now create our own symbols from these. Good, so what we're going to do, we're going to go into symbols and choose define symbol. Then we're going to select our first coat of arms, everything we want from there, D. And then we can put our own personal prefix in here if we want to, for Rough Shaman. And then coat of arms, checkers. This is house checkers. Well, actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the coat of arms as the prefix here, and then the name in here. Origin is where the origin point of the symbol or insertion point will be. Center suits me just fine. And then I'm just going to click OK. And this symbol will be gone. It's when you define something as a symbol, it gets erased from the drawing itself and gets placed into a symbol reference instead. And this you can see down here, the COA checkers. So I'm going to continue doing the next symbol, define symbol, D for do it, and then just put, it keeps all the other settings, you don't need to change the prefix. So I'm going to call this Seahorse. Then repeat the same command by just left clicking again, select the next coat of arms, and this will be house cat cross. Next one, D for do it. It's going to be the lion flowers. And the last one, D for do it, the house white star. Okay, you can see our map is empty, but we do want to remove everything but our own symbols from it. For that I go into Symbols, Symbol Manager. There you can see all the symbol definitions in the map from all the stuff we added to the map beforehand, all the different parts. And at the end there are our newly designed symbols. So I'm going to delete everything but those 5. Let's have a quick look. Here are our 5 symbols. I'm going to go in the Symbol Manager and I'm going to give them some define some options. Mostly I want to do force sheet. I want to make sure these always end up on their own proper sheet. So I'm gonna define them as they should go on symbols heraldry. I always tend to put in an asterisk at the end. That means I can always define multiple sheets that start with that text and have, for example, numbers at the end. So I can have multiple ones I can place these symbols on in case I want to show or hide some of them or want to assign different sheet effects to different coats of arms. Everything else is not necessary here at the moment. That's the only option I need. Save the map, and now I'm going to save that as a symbol catalog. For that, I go into the Save As catalog, and on the file type, I choose Campaign Cartographer 3 FSC symbol catalog, and then I can give that a new name and just call it My Heraldry. And that's everything you need to define your own symbol catalog. What you could do, you could now go in and unfreeze the background here and delete everything else, but that's not really necessary. You can just leave that. It won't hurt anyone either. And now I'm gonna open a new map and choose the Nazaria map I've already saved in our video folder. And here I can now go in and load up our symbol catalog. Gonna go into videos for this, fantasy, into heraldry, and here's my symbol catalog. I've got one left, and that's because this was defined as a symbol fill, and I didn't see that in the symbol manager. Let's just quickly fix this. I want to get rid of this extra symbol here. How do I do that? Why does it show up? So let's have a look and go back into our symbol catalog file here, symbol manager, and you can see the show fill style symbols option is unchecked. If I check this, the shield fill shows up. And this is because the shield fill is used in symbol fill, one of the types of things you can choose as a fill style. Symbol fills here, and so here's the shield fill, and it uses the symbol shield fill. And that's how Campaign Cartographer knows this is actually a fill style symbol and hides it from our normal view. But I can just delete that safely here because we're not using the shield fill anyway. Save it again. Go back to the Nazaria map. And again, go to our videos and load our heraldry catalog. And there you can see it's gone. Now the only thing we need to check is the size of our symbols. Let's have a look. I'm going to go in here and say we want to give this city a coat of arms. Well, it's already not too bad. So let's say it's 3. We could go in and scale all the symbols in the symbol catalog, but we're also fine in just using the adjusted symbol size as we place them, because there won't be that many anyway. Here's my shield on the map. Oh, perhaps I still wanted to have it a little bit larger. Say, let's do a scale of 4. Put it underneath the name. And as you can see, because we set the symbol to use the symbols heraldry sheet, Campaign Cartographer looks for that, doesn't find it, and adds it to our list of sheets. So we can now put that in the proper place. I want it below the text, just above the other symbols. And then we can also add a sheet effect here. For example, we might want a little drop shadow. Let's have a quick look how this looks. Apply. This is a bit too large here, so what we're going to do, we're going to do perhaps 2 by 2 units offset and a little less blur. Apply. It's much better. And also to put it in line with the rest of the map, we might put a little blur on the whole coat of arms. Let's have a look how the symbols in this style are blurred. See, they have a 0.1 unit blur on them. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy that blur and paste it in here, and perhaps make it a little bit less strong. Half that. There we go. That's our symbol sheet effect for the symbols. And now we can go in and place the other. What we probably should also do is put in our own layer. So I'm just going to add a Heraldry Layer to the drawing. Put this as the current layer, and then put in the other coats of arms. What I also want to do is change layer on the one we already placed. This should obviously go on the Heraldry layer as well. One coat of arms for Leonatus. Another one for Keranos. And a fifth one for Agramor. And we've already improved the look of our little campaign map by adding the different coats of arms for the ruling houses of these cities. Or it might be the coat of arms of the cities in themselves, actually, if they are their own political entities. And that's how you create heraldry symbols from the assets we have, and draw your own ones. Whatever. We've got still got some time, and even though I want to go a bit easy on my voice tonight, I'm gonna show you how to add the star we created as a symbol into the existing catalogs. So I'm gonna go back into our heraldry drawing, and here we've already got the symbol selected, created. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna place this one in here again, and then explode the symbol. Erase this, and let's have a quick look at the parts these symbols existed of the star I've created from that. I've used the existing drawing tools for this. That makes sure they all should be on the correct layer and everything, but let's have a quick look. An important thing here is no, it's not quite set up as I would need this. So, because as you've seen, the symbols here split onto multiple sheets, and they do need to have the line styles set up, because line styles define on what sheets the parts go. So let's, as an example, have a look at the charges we have in here. Let's grab one of the existing symbols. Go and explode this. Here we've got the same problem cropping up that we had earlier. So it might be a problem of this individual symbol also. Let's have a look whether it happens the same one with this one. Yes, it does. Let's have a quick look. And for list. Okay, yeah, it splits correctly onto two different sheets. So I think we need to, again, no. They do behave a little bit strangely here. Remy thinks I have found a bug. Yes, quite possible that I found a bug with the explode command in conjunction with symbols that split onto multiple sheets. We'll have a quick, more clearer look at this. For now, instead of exploding the symbol, I'm gonna go in here and have a look at the black outline alone in the symbol manager. Let's have a look. And goes. I think this symbol doesn't actually split into multiple parts. That's only the background with the outline symbols that do that. That's why. Oh, it actually does go on multiple sheets. Because we do have the outline and the designs sheets for multiple parts. And we can do that without referring to the other symbols. I can simply show you without checking the other symbols. We've got the white background that should go on the designs sheet. Let's have a look whether they're set up this way. No, not count, but list. Actually, yeah, problem is that I already moved them into individual symbols and then exploded them again. That's why that's not set up this way. But what I can do, I can draw a little section of a symbol here and an outline as well. And there you can see info list that these are on different sheets. See the background, the green background is on designs and the black outline is on the outline sheet. And that's how we want this symbol to split as well. The black outlines should go on the outline sheet and the white should go on the design sheet. And therefore what we're going to do is we're going to change the line style by all black entities. Do it, and we're gonna grab the outline line style, and that when we define the symbol as splitting onto multiple sheets, Cartographer knows all entities with the line style outline should go on the outline sheet. And I'm good at finding bugs again. I've got a crash. Messing around too much with multiple outline symbols. Here we are again. Yeah, Sue was already suspecting I will be finding bugs again. I'm great at that. It's always good to find them and be able to eradicate them later. So I'm back here in my drawing for the star symbol. So let's go save this again. I've loaded the autosave drawing to save as much from my latest work as I could. It was pretty good. Just a few things done since the latest autosave. Always good to have a short autosave period set. So I'm gonna save this again as the heraldry drawing and gonna start again. Change line style by color black. And this goes on the outline style. Save it. Change line style by color 15. That's the white. Press D for do it. And this goes on the designs sheet. Now we're going to define this as a symbol. Symbol. Define symbol. Nope. Symbols. Define symbol. Press D for do it. And here I'm going to already use the CA15 prefix that the symbols from this style have, and we call this an 8-point star. There we go. Here we've got the symbol defined. Now we're gonna go in the symbol manager again. Erase everything but the star. This time I'm gonna remember to show the fill style symbols, to already also delete that. And then we're gonna use an option. And here this time we will use the convert line style names to sheets option. And that way the symbol will split onto multiple ones, onto multiple sheets. Now I'm gonna save this as our own drawing. I don't need to do a symbol catalog because I don't want to make a fresh new symbol catalog. Instead, I want to add this to an existing one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to load up our existing symbol catalog, and we'll find this in our program data folder, C3 plus, symbols, other, and here are the CA15 symbol catalogs. I'm going to load the charges, and you see these are the ones we've been using. And then I'm going to go into symbols, symbol manager, and then going to use import. And here I'm going to go to my videos folder where I saved this. Let's show the names. Heraldry our symbols, the one I saved this as. Double click, and now I should have a look, and there's our 8-point star. And we can move this up to a location where we want it in the list. Let's put it directly under our fleur-de-lis. Save this. And what we're going to do is we're going to double check that we do have the settings correctly the same. So if we have click options, also convert line styles to sheets, and we've got a symbol as one of a collection set, and that's everything. So we're gonna set the options the same. We already have the convert line style names, and it's a collection with one letter at the end. At the moment we only have one of these, but what we can do, we can rename this and this an A, and then make it a clone, and do the second as a V to denote a varicolor symbol. Now I'm gonna go E and edit this one, and symbols, make varicolor, and I'm gonna make all white entities varicolor. Okay, and we've got the cat saying hi, Asa, say hello. I'm almost done. So we've got the varicolor symbol in here as well. And we also need to make sure to set this as the correct option. And now let's have a look and go back into our original drawing. Add a shield background here. Now load our charges. Oh, scroll down to far, and there's our 8-pointed star in the list. We should also be able, it's a group. Let's see, there's our varicolor symbol correctly showing in green. Now turn to yellow. And there's our design within the list of symbols of the heraldry symbols. Very good. Sorry for the troubles in between. Vern tells me he doesn't experience the same problems. Might be just something on my side here. It's always a bit tricky because I test things all the time, and my default, my working installation is not always the same as the official release. So it might be something that's happening in there. It shouldn't be the beta update though, because that's not installed here, but I'll have a closer look and hope you don't experience similar problems like that. So for now, that should be enough for tonight. We almost completed the hour, and my voice is happy when it can stop talking now and relax a little bit more. Hope you enjoyed that. And yes, Sue has another good point to add. Multi-sheet symbols are covered quite in depth in the Tome of Ultimate Mapping. That's a good location to check up on more stuff like this and learn more and read up the details at your leisure. Okay, hope you had a nice session. And I'm going to see you again next week. It's going to be, no, it's not going to be next month yet. We'll have another October session, and then we're heading into November. All right, until then, have a good night. Thanks for watching, and talk to you on the forums or wherever, or see you again next week. Bye-bye.